Hey, this is Tom with Cavaliers Gaming, and in this video, we are playing level 14 of Schim, which is the longest level of the game so far. It does contain 3 collectibles, and we will pick them all up on our way around the level. Once you've got control of our character, we are going to jump between the trucks. We're going to jump onto the person, across the boxes, to the container, the truck, and to the button. We're going to press X to interact with the button, bring the shutter up, jump into the box, jump back to the person. And we're going to keep following the path around till we get to the next button, which we're going to press X on. And when the forklift truck starts moving, we're going to jump into it. Now, the forklift truck has gone through the door. We've jumped into some containers. We're now going to jump to this spring pad. We're going to hold interact, and we are going to bounce our way onto the conveyor belt. And we're going to follow this round until we get to some boxes. As we follow those boxes around and to the container, we will make our way to the first collectible. So we're going to jump onto this launch box, rotate the camera, launch ourselves at the forklift truck, press interact to extend the arms, jump around into the container shadow and pick up the misplaced package, our first collectible. We're then going to use this jump to launch ourselves back towards the conveyor belt, and then a second one to launch ourselves onto the conveyor belt. And we're going to let the packages take us to the end. What we want to do now is jump to the forklift, interact with it to extend its arms, and then jump into one of the containers which is moving. What we're going to want to do is now bounce our way up the path all the way to the end, jumping between each of the moving boxes. You do have to time some of the jumps so you can get over the barriers. Once we get all the way to the end, we want to jump onto the person on the left. We then want to jump onto the shelving and go round the back of the forklift and containers to pick up our second collectible. And there we have it, our second collectible, the wrench. We want to work our way back up to the person. And then jump back down across one pillar into this little arm. We then want to rotate. We want to jump onto the person, and then we want to bounce across the power line shadows until we get to a tube, which is going to shoot us to another part of the level. We then want to jump into the traffic barrier, press X next to the generator, make our way across the fence and onto the electric wire, and bounce across to the machines moving boxes. We now want to make our way down those machines till we get to the springboard, which we'll use to launch ourselves over the fence. And the tube will then take us to the next part of the level. We now want to jump between the people, onto the forklift truck, interact to extend the arms, and then jump onto the trolley. With the cutscene over, we want to jump onto the person, then onto the pile of tables and chairs, into the shadow of the container, and then work our way around the back of the other containers. Then we need to wait for some people to walk past so we can jump across the gap to the forklift truck. So here's some people. Now we've got to the forklift truck. We're going to jump onto a person, into another person, onto the containers, and then round the back. Once through the containers, we're going to jump onto a bin through some cones and a board, and we're going to jump onto a forklift. Once this clip is finished, you want to make ourselves to the back of the shelving unit. Rotate the camera and jump onto the little board. They can fling us. Now, what we need to do is just wait for a forklift truck to come. These kind of can take a couple of seconds. And then we're going to jump on the truck and make our way to the fence. So we're going to jump to the fence, onto the springboard, and then launch ourselves across these conveyor belts. What you need to do is jump between each box. And when we get to the end, will be our third and last collectible for this level. This can take quite a few attempts to do it. So don't get frustrated if it doesn't work first time. And we can see the collectible just right at the bottom, a crate, which we will pick up. And then we're going to work our way to some pipes to pick up and go to the next area of the level. At the end of the pipe, we want to work our way around the corner through the people to another springboard and another bouncing conveyor belt sequence. It's the same as the one with the collectible. We want to launch ourselves over and then bounce between the boxes to the end. Once we get to the end, we want to jump on the forklift. We want to extend the arms and then jump into the electricity cables to do some more bouncing. And we want to rotate the camera and bounce to the right-hand side. We then want to toggle the switch. And then we're going to bounce all the way down this cable. Once we get to the end, we're going to then bounce to the left to another set of conveyor belts, which we're going to fling ourselves onto and jump across. We're getting close to the end of the level now, so we want to jump off the conveyor belt. We then want to jump into the side and the cones and then time our jump into a drone. The drone will then fly weirdly up. We want to then jump into a container, rotate the camera, jump into another forklift, extend that forklift to jump to a flipping board. Then we want to launch ourselves towards the drones or the boxes. And then we want to navigate across these boxes. So we want to get to the end of the first row. We want to jump into the middle of the second row, and then bounce our way to the right so we can exit the area. Then once we exit the area, we want to jump onto the forklift truck, and that will complete this level. I hope this video helped you, and if it did, please give us a like, please subscribe for the rest of the series, and have a great day. Good night.